Welcome back to the Automation Podcast. My name is Shawn, and today we're going to do something a little bit different. We had vendors lined up and recording scheduled, but things happen both here and on their side, so they've been put off to next week. So I thought instead of leaving you without a podcast this week, it's been 6 months since we just sat down and talked, so I figured we would do another show like that. I hope you find it interesting. And I figured I would talk to you about what's been going on here at the Automation Blog and School for the last several weeks. Back at the first part of the year, I started doing the Automation Morning Show, and I did 70 consecutive episodes of that. Every morning or every evening, I would take all the stories from the previous day, put them in a list, and then in the morning I would record and publish a show talking about all the news in industrial automation. I really enjoyed doing it, even though it was very time-consuming. And but then I had a vacation planned. I had a trip to a trade show planned, and I just wasn't going to be able to keep doing it for a couple of weeks. So I said, let me take a break and really think through what I was doing, because I had to reduce how much time it took. I have part of my role here at Insights in Automation is training, and I got to produce training courses and training lessons for my students. That's part of the way I get paid. So in any case, I did that, and I've been thinking about it. And one of the things that I came away with while I was on vacation was that, the site automate.news, I wasn't comfortable with it. I didn't like the way it was very rudimentary, and I knew I could do better. And then the Automation Blog, it's the 10th anniversary this year for the Automation Blog, and I really felt like it needed a refresh. And I needed a new design that would incorporate the daily news, but not, eclipse everything else we're doing, our weekly podcast, articles and videos that I make and produce, and I hire content creators to do for me as well. And so I really felt that I needed to redo the automationblog.com and then automate.news before I could start doing that morning show again. And so I've been working on that mostly over the last several weeks, and I have the automationblog.com up. Now it's its 10th anniversary. I actually started publishing automation articles and videos in sample code on my original website back in 1999, ShawnMichael.com. Then I migrated that over to ShawnMTierney.com. And back in 2013, I'm like, I really wanted to do a lot more in this space, but I didn't want to mix it in with my family stuff and my hobby stuff. So I created the automationblog.com, and I've moved over a lot of that content that was on the older sites previously. Not everything, of course, because the number one goal every week is to keep the lights on. But in any case, you will find some articles going all the way back to 99 here on the Automation Blog. But as far as the automationblog.com, it's its 10th anniversary. And, we're up to, this is actually episode 159 of the podcast, which is really exciting. I just love having new vendors on each week to talk about products. It helps keep me up to speed. And it's really enjoyable to learn about, what people are doing where it comes to, DIN rail mount UPSs or Modbus, simulators, or the new ident sensors or things like that, robotics, all that stuff. I know we get some great guests that will be coming on in the coming weeks, talking about a whole range of products. But in any case, so I started to focus on the automationblog.com, redesigning the website. And, when you're on a mobile device like a phone and you look at the site, you're just seeing that wall of information, right? Like you would on a social media site. But when you're on a PC, my first goal was to take advantage of the entire screen. I used to have a boxed-in site that left, had the wall behind me, actually as a background to the website. And so I decided to get rid of that and go full screen. So when you go to automationblog.com on a PC, you will see that the site now takes up the entire screen. And at the very top, I don't have a slider anymore. I have the last, I think it's 7 or 8 featured items that I've published. Right now, because I've been doing the redesign, I haven't been writing a lot of articles or filming a lot of videos. It's mostly just all of the podcasts, so the last 7 or 8 podcasts. And so I also wanted to change the menu. I wanted to really simplify the menu here. So you can see at the very top of the site, if you're listening, I'll describe all of this. You'll see that you have news, shows, and articles. Those are the main 3 categories I have. So we have news content, which is, hey, what's new? We have the shows, the podcast, the automation show, the automation minute, automation tech tips and all those. Then we have the articles, the written procedures. We have lots of articles. We have over, I think, 1,500 articles. I've written probably 1,200 of them, 1,300 of them. And I know I've hired freelancers to write a ton as well. And no, we do not pay $300 to $500 per article like the big corporate sites do. We would love to, but we'll need more advertising and more ad revenue to do something like that. In any case, I also wanted to have a link to our community, automation.locals.com. I closed down the automation forums because I was just it was just a lot of people asking questions, but never interacting. Like they were posting on every forum that's out there and never would come back and read the answers. So that's why we do automation.locals.com now. And then I'll get into guides in a minute. We have links to my training courses. Again, that's how we keep the lights on. And then shop if you want to shop. And we'll talk about that in a minute too. We've talked about the t-shirts and the coffee cups and all the different things we have in that shop. So in any case, but that's really, if you look at the site, you get the automation blog logo on the top left. You got the standard banner ad in the middle top. And then you have log in, log out on the top right and search on the top right. Then we have the latest content. Now, directly under that, we have 3 rows of latest. So we have the latest news in the left-hand column. So you can see the latest automation morning shows. You can see the latest what I call mini articles based on the latest news. This is what I'm playing around with. I'll talk about that more later. But that's in the left column of the 7 latest new items that we have there. Okay. Then in the center column, we have the latest shows. So right now it's all automation podcasts because I've, not filming new automation show, automation minute episodes at the moment. And then on the right, we have the latest articles. And again, I have some freelancers already sending in articles, and I have some articles I want to write as well. And so that kind of gives you the 3 tiers of the content we produce here. And so I want, people to be able to, hey, after they see what's featured, they can come down here and see the latest of everything, right? And from there, we go down the guides. Now, once I finish the redesign here, right, I started working on guides, and I'll get into that in a minute. But underneath guides, I have 12 categories. So I show 3 articles, the 3 latest articles in 12 different categories. Programmable controllers, human-machine interface, or HMI, sensing, robotics, SCADA, motion control, motor control, computing IPC edge, control panel items, software, networking, and gateways, and IoT and digitization. So those are the 12 different categories that we're focusing on for this year and the coming years. And then at the very bottom, we have some disclaimers. We don't want people, taking our copyrighted content, And we also have links. The same links that are at the top, news, shows, articles, and so on, are all down here. And the mini menu is also down here. If you look at the top, this is where we send advertisers. People who want to advertise or sponsor with us. We are, every penny we make is through advertising and sponsoring. So you can see that right here. So if somebody wants to support our work at the Automation blog and make their podcast ad-free or run ads on the website, and we appreciate our vendors who have done that this year. Some great vendors who've supported us that way, including 3 of the podcasts. I think it was P&F, Flexive, and Kapow, along with Antira, did some ads. So we really appreciate them. And in the recent past, we had some ads from Siemens and some sponsored show from Siemens as well. So we really appreciate that. It's the only income source we have besides the stores, the stuff we sell in the store, our collections and whatnot. But in any case, up here at the very top, the mini menu, you can see submit a topic or question for us to cover, submit a news tip. If you see something that we didn't cover and you think we should cover it, we have to sponsor and advertise. That's where vendors can go to see, they can actually spend about 10% what they would spend with one of the big sites and reach 5 times more people, believe it or not, with us at 10% of the cost of what they're spending elsewhere. And then we have the media guide, which has all the pricing in that, and contact us for general inquiries. Now, I want to come back down here to the guides because I spent a lot of time putting this together. So I already told you we had over 1,500 articles and videos on the site, and a lot of those are on certain technologies like control logics, compact logics, S7 PLCs, HMIs, and so on. And so what I did is I spent a lot of time going through probably 1,000 of those pieces of content and categorizing them and giving them a guide order. So what does that mean? So you can see here, I'm going to go ahead and click on Control Logic's guide. And what you're going to see here is a list of all our content related to control logics, but in a logical order, starting with how do I find my Rockwell distributor who's going to sell it to me? And then, what is a Rockwell Automation programmable automation controller? What are 7 things I need to know about ControlLogix before I start using it? And so on. Introduction to each of the modules and I/O cards and controllers. And then we get into the software, RSLogix Studio 5000, Logix Designer. And then this goes through, the simulator I use in my course, the PLC Logix simulator, which we also sell at the Automation School. How to install patch roll-ups, and you get some of Brandon's articles in here and other people's articles in here. And you got my videos on how to ping a PLC and articles about which controller support Modbus. And just, it goes on and on and on over 4 different pages. And I think this one, I'll have to put my glasses on to see. But I think in this particular guide, we'll go to the top here, it's over 170 free articles and videos just on ControlLogix. And I ordered them specifically in, from the simplest, from the, from what you need to know as a beginner to the more complex. And at the very end, I kind of have a historic listing of, hey, what's new in version 32? What's new in version 33? What's new in version 34? So I pushed that all the way to the end. Of course, what's new at Automation Fear, 2016, 2017, 2018. That's at the very end, kind of give you a historical review. Now, I also did, for most of these, I have an index, a guide index as well, which is just an ordered list, okay? So 1 through 170 without any pictures or anything, so you can find things quickly. But in any case, you can get it. If you're watching the podcast, you can see, I have a bunch of articles about Point.io. Got a lot of stuff Brandon did about different Logix instructions and ControlLogix redundancy. I got a lot of videos on doing messaging and so on. So what I did is I put this together for, initially it was for 12 categories. Now we're up to 16 different categories. And some of them only have 40 pieces of content, like the S7-1200. Some of them have 170 pieces of content, like the ControlLogix, the MicroLogix, the PanelView Plus. I think the Compact Logix has 140 pieces of content. So you can see here, you only see 9 initially. You have to hit load more to see the rest of them that are out. We do have one on the PLC5, one on RS-332, one on messages. So all the articles and videos on messaging in one guide. We have one on Factory Talk Links and RS Links Classic. But in any case, really the PLCs and HMIs were the big ones, and VUSC, of course, were the big ones. And those are also available in this menu at the top and the bottom of the screen. At the top of the screen, you get a drop down with what they call a mega menu with pictures of each guide. You don't want to click on the little black category. That'll take you somewhere else. You want to click on the picture. And you can see ControlLogix, Compact Logix, S7 1500, 1200, Micro 800. These are all free. They're just ordered lists of all the content we've done over the last 10 years. And I thought they were really helpful. And the other cool thing about, again, this took time, but I think it was well worth it, is if you come to one of these ControlLogix articles, like, let's go, one of my favorites, which is fairly new, is my one on RSLogix 5000 and Studio 5000 Logix Designer. And one of the things you'll notice when it comes up is right underneath the ad on the right, okay, the 300 by 600 ad, you will see the mini guide, okay? So on every one of these articles is also a mini guide that shows that same list of 170 articles. Again, this one's broke up into 9 different pages, 20 at a time. But if you're in an article and you're like, okay, well, that answers that question, but I have another question, you can actually stay right here on that page and look for what else is available in this guide, that compact ControlLogix guide, right there in the mini guide. So with that was the goal here. And part of that, too, was creating new ads here to talk about, if you want to support our site, but you don't want to join the community for $2 a month or more, how else could you support us? And I created new ads for our collections. So, maybe you don't have time to join a community. You don't have time to get involved. If we go to shop, you'll see the first selection is content collections. So you all know probably by now that I have a 2013 through 2020 video collection of 280 plus videos, 29 hours of videos. It's the first 4 episodes of the Automation Minute. First 4 episodes. First 4 seasons of the Automation Minute and the first season of the Automation Show. Well, in addition to that, we have other things that you can pick up. We have our Logix Book of Knowledge, which is all my ControlLogix articles in an ebook format for $9, $9.99. I put together a new one for the compact Logics. I'm calling it an e-guide because I did not take the time to rewrite all the articles and grammar check them and whatnot. I did try to make sure all the pictures were high quality, but this is available for $4.99. Again, when you purchase these, you get a lifetime copy of the ebook. You can download it again if you lose it. You can download a copy to your laptop, to your phone. It is licensed just to you, but you can put it on every one of the devices you own. And the compact Logic one is very similar to the Control Logics one, except there's a lot of articles I did specifically on compact Logics and not Control Logics. And so that's what you'll find in there. They look very similar. They're laid out very similar, and that's $5. That's on sale through September. And then, of course, we have the video collection I talked about, $35 on USB, $30 on digital. But then I have collections of videos. So let's say you don't need every video. You just want the ones on Control Logics. Well, I sell that digital collection, video on demand, for $9.99. And that's nearly 6 hours, over 51 episodes on Control Logics. It's a one-time price, stream and download forever. And I just put up a new one for the S7 PLC. This is over 10 hours for $10, right? And that we get, I think 95% of that comes right to us. The video server people, they're very good at supporting creators. And so you get, it's like if you buy a movie from like iTunes or Amazon, but it's from Vimeo, you get lifetime streaming and downloads at no additional charges. Just spend your $10, you get all of that. And it's a great way to support our work. So I wanted to make sure all of those were up here. So we do View SE, Piano View Plus, Micro 800, Micro Logics, Compact Logics, Control Logics, and S7 as breakout collections. And then we also have the seasons too. So I've priced the seasons so that, let's say you bought, season 1 and 2 of the Automation Minute. You can pick up season 3, 4 in the Automation Show season 1, and the total will still come out to $30. Just so that you're not feeling like, oh, I don't want to buy the collection. I already have some of the videos. I also added, getting ready to go back and start doing the daily content again. I also added collections for Tech Tips, Automation Q&A, the Automation Minute Season 5, which is already up to 38 episodes. So that's on sale now for $5. And I ran out of upload bandwidth, but I will be putting together a collection number 2 that will have the Automation Minute Season 5, the Automation Show Season 2, Tech Tips Q&A, select podcasts, and the automation demo. So, but they only get 20 gigs to upload every week. And so I use that all up updating these. So in the near future, I'll start putting together collection number 2 that will be available for quite a long time. And of course, I like to make them available at the beginning at a reduced price. And then, when they're full of all the videos and seasons are done, then, bring it up to that $30 price. So you can always get a special deal if you jump in early. But again, you have the questions on any of this. Again, 95% of the revenue from these collections goes right to the Automation blog and supporting us in everything we do. And so putting those collections together, putting the ebooks together, I want to do more ebooks. It's very timing to put them together. That you think it'd be easy just to take all the articles and copy and paste, but it's not. The copy and paste never works right, and you end up doing a lot of rework. But in any case, so let me go back to the home page here. So we have a complete redesign of the automationblog.com, brand new theme, brand new look and feel, much more simplified. I just keep all the ads except for the top banner ad at the top. I keep all the ads along the right-hand side. So if you want to know what the latest collection is, what the latest course is, what the latest review is, you'll see that along the right-hand side. We get 12 categories we're going to focus in on in the coming years. We got 16 free how-to guides, ordered lists of our existing content. And then we have our top 7 news items, shows, and articles underneath the most recent and featured content. So I think it came out good. I'd love to get your thoughts. If you think something's not working, if you think I missed something, if you think I should add something in there, let me know. While you can click on shows here and see all the shows, we do have quick links. Like if you go to automationblog.com/podcast, you'll see just podcasts, right? And I didn't want to throw up too many links on the screen here, but if you just wanted to see podcast episodes, I send this out to prospective guests a lot. So it's just automationblog.com/podcast, and that redirects to the podcast category, which is a little bit longer link. And then we also have the automationblog.show, the automationblog theautomationblog.com/show, theautomationblog.com/minute if you want to see any of those episodes. And a demo as well for the automation demo. Haven't finished rebranding all the old automation tech tips to the automation demo, just for the sake of time. But the new tech tips, I'm excited about that. That's just me doing quick tips that are longer than what I want to do in the automation minute, which is more of your first looks and how, your first looks, really unboxing first looks, not the long how-tos. I know in the past, the same thing with the automation Q&A. I've done Q&As on the automation show, on the automation minute, on the automation podcast, but it's kind of like that really needs its own show, which is why I did the automation Q&A show. And all of these will be coming back once I start doing the daily news again. So that's really where the automation blog sits. Now I'm working on automate.news. I'm very close to a final design for that. A couple of important things about that. I need to have the same ads on automate.news that I have here at theautomationblog.com, because when somebody sponsors it, I want the ad to be in both places. In the same place, I want it to be very easy. I can't spend a lot of time, creating content and then managing the website as a web developer and then being the salesperson and the community spokesperson. And, there's only so many hours in a day. So I have to keep them. They have to be very similar. But I do want automate.news to be like a aggregate site that just lists what the news is. But I need those things to be, if it's product news or press releases or events, I want them to be sortable by category. So I'm very close on a design on that. I've been working over on the site. I'm not going to show it to you now because it's kind of a mess. But I've been working on design. I get some messages out to some prospective software vendors to provide pieces and parts, components to the website to see how they're going to do it. But even if that doesn't pan out, I do have a solution, and over the next couple of days, I will be putting together, doing some more tests over there, some test content. And, so I see the process being like at night, I go through all the new news of the day. Then in the morning, I go through and read it all, watch it all, kind of over my coffee in the morning when I'm not stressed out about the day yet and trying to get a bunch of things done. And then I can kind of formulate what I'm going to do at 8 o'clock. And I want to do it as a live stream. I don't know if I told you guys this before, but when the news show comes back, it'll be a live stream. That eliminates the having to download the video from the camera, marry it up with the audio, and uploading. It takes so long to upload it to all the different services. So if I can multi-stream, live stream, I have a Restream account. If I can just live stream it everywhere, all at once live, then it's going to save me actually a couple hours a day. So it'll help me. And what I want to do at that time is I want to be able to create the articles and other things over at the Automation blog related to that. I also have to do social posts on it to try to get more people to come to the blog so we can get more advertisers, so we can hopefully hire some people and I can offload, do just more content creation, offload some of that stuff to other people. So that's kind of a lot what's going through my mind right now. But in any case, we got some great guests coming up on the Automation podcast. I know I've been talking about having three different topics with Rockwell, about having them on. I recently met with Siemens. We got a whole list of things we want to do with them. They have a brand new VFD out. They have a virtual PLC out. So some exciting stuff from them. Plus, we haven't had some of their people on in a long time. If you go back and look at our Siemens coverage, it's been a while since we've had some of their people on. So, and there's some categories we have never even talked about with them. I do want to have Balufan again. Of course, PNF, RC is one of my favorite guests. I have so many favorite guests, but he's one of them. Want to get more robotic companies on. I had a great time with the guys from Flexiv and Kapow. Look forward to having them back on in the future. I'd like to do more smaller products like we did Din Storage and SimServe from Scatomatic. And then I've been reaching out to a lot of SCADA people, both at Siemens and Rockwell and Inductive. We want to make sure we're covering SCADA. It's one of my favorite products, right? So I teach Effective Talk View SE course at the Automation School. And, I've been using SCADA since the 90s, and I've Control View, I guess, but I never really liked Control View much, but WinView, and then everything since then. So, in any case, and HMIs, and, I would like to get a lot of people back. Like, I always enjoy having Banner on. And a lot of these other vendors, IFM, we have them scheduled to come on. Just so many friends of the show over the years that we've had on that I'd like to get back on to talk about new and exciting products. So in any case, we do have that's time consuming, but we got a lot of people in the works. Even Automation Direct, we had them in the works, and we just got to schedule a date, and that's been a couple months now, but definitely want to get everybody on. Anybody you see on the wall behind me, or anybody who makes a similar product, we want to get on. We want to just keep bringing the trade show to you like the Automate trade show to you every week, 30 to 45 minutes at a time. And I love your feedback too. I love it when you guys say, Shawn, thank you for doing the show. You really focus on real automation products, and it really helps me get through my commute. And I look forward to bringing back the Automation Morning Show too, so you guys can enjoy that as well. But with that, I think that's it for the automationblog.com. Now, over at the Automation School, the way the flow of my day is going to be once I get back to it will be we're going to start doing the Gen 3 courses over there. So my Siemens course, let me just pull it up here, click on training. So my Siemens course was the first of my Gen 3 courses, and the guys at Siemens were awesome, and the support and helping fund it and with the equipment and with pre-buying seats and whatnot, just fantastic. And I really took the time, read a lot of books, took a lot of time on that to work to make it my Gen 3 course. And so what I have to do is I still have some nagging little things. I've been making custom certificates for people because the certificate's not available yet, because I still have some nagging little things to fix on that. So I got to finish that up and release the certificate to all the people who are enrolled in that. And then I after that, once that's content complete, I do got to go back. I want to make my Compact Logics course on par with my Control Logics. Now, Compact Logics, you're typically not going to do Control Net, so I'm not going to do that. But there are things on Ethernet I haven't done yet. There's some structured text stuff I want to do in SFC that I do in PAC Basics. I'm not doing in Compact Basics. So that's going to be the next step. After I consider the Siemens S7 course content complete, I'll go over to the Compact Basics course and try to give it parity with the Control Logics course. And once that's done, then I want to start working on the Gen 3 courses. Basically, if you own a level 1-2 course of mine at the Automation School, and or what I used to call the extended editions, you get the new 2023 courses for free. And so every afternoon, all afternoon, starting from a week or two from now through the end of the year, except when I'm not in town, I will be filming those next gen lessons, and I look forward to it. And I called the next gen course, the Gen 3 courses, I called them ultimate courses, because even though you're getting them for free now with the level 1 and 2, they're not going to have an end to them. I expect to be adding new lessons to them forever. And eventually I'll make a cheap version called, the level 1 Control Logics course, right? And it'll be maybe $50 or $100. But right now, the only way to get the ultimate courses is to buy the existing level 1 and level 2 courses I have. And whether you're buying it as an individual, or you're doing group enrollment for 50 people at your company, everybody who is in those 1 and 2 courses do get the ultimate course at no charge. And it's just technology changes. I've been doing this since 2014, the Automation School. So that's when I did the Kickstarter, and I started filming lessons, and I released the original Micro Programmable Controller Basics course, which turned into PLC Basics. And, so some of those early courses, they need updating, right? So you look at the MicroLogics, only the 1400. I believe only the 1400 is available now. But it's still a great place to start learning PLCs, because RS Logix Micro Starter Lite and RS Emulate 500 is free, right? But I've really come to feel, and I know a lot of people poo-poo the Micro 800, right? And I did for many, many years. But it is a great platform to learn on, because you're learning, really, it's an IEC 61131 is what you're learning, right? So you're learning like just a raw, basic PLC code. And you can make it look like Logix. You can turn on the Logix view and make it look more like Logix. And, it's not going to look like RS Logix or Studio 5000, but it looks more like it. But it's great to learn on, because guess what? CCW is free. And it now comes with a built-in free simulator. Now, with the free software, it only runs for 10 minutes at a time. But that's usually long enough to do any of my projects in my course. So I just think it's great. And then, of course, when it comes to control logics and compact logics, is that new $300 simulator that we're offering at the Automation School, PLC Logic. And that thing has, not only does it simulate RS Logic 5000, so you don't need a, I don't know, $300 a year or a $3,000 a year license or $8,000 a year license. It simulates the software. It simulates the I/O, so it actually has a test stand simulator built into it, right? And all the I/O modules and whatnot, analog and digital. But it also simulates 10 or 11 different plant applications, right? Like a mixer and a conveyor belt system with a feeder feeding up bins and just all kinds of stuff. There's even, that's one lesson I do want to complete, is the street light lesson. It's easy if you don't take into account the crosswalks. Once you add in the crosswalks, there's a bunch of questions. You need to delay, right? Thinking of right turn on red. Do you need to make all four red for so long before you let the people cross? There's a lot of considerations in that, and different ways to do it, and different ways different towns do it, and different cities and states do it too. So, but in any case, you can actually play with that for free if you buy the course. You probably can go through all of the lessons within the 15 days if you put your mind to it, and not have to buy the $300 package. But it is a hard 15-day limit, so you wouldn't want to do that unless you were ready to go. But in any case, so lots going on over at the Automation School. But really, the next thing is the ultimate courses, and I'm looking forward to starting the Slick 500 and PLC 5 course. I was hoping to get those out last year, and just it wasn't possible to do it. But I'm going to film these all concurrently. So I'm going to do, I'm going to be filming them all. They're going to be shared lessons. So if I have a lessons on Data Highway Plus, well, that, Slick 500 uses Data Highway Plus, PLC 5 uses Data Highway Plus, Control Logics can do Data Highway Plus. So I'll have some generic lessons in there that go across all of them. And I also am working with some software simulation vendors. So I'm going to build the courses so that over time I can actually add in new lessons that will show you, hey, download this free trial of this simulation software. Here's a machine I built. You can download that as well, and you can actually try the lessons in the simulation software. So a lot going on, and I'm really looking forward to filming these new courses, because I just want to cover everything. And over the years, we got a lot more equipment, right? Encoders, temperature sensors, photo eyes, ultrasonic sensors. So I want to actually go through and say, okay, here's an ultrasonic sensor sent into us, sampled to us by P&F. This is how to wire it up too. And I'll go through wiring of all these different controllers. So that'll be fun. I know a lot of people have asked for wiring stuff. I'm also going to be showing you how to make your own demo, like the demo stands I use here in my studio. I'm going to be showing you how to make those as well. I already did a couple of lessons on that. One is already up. And so there'll be these common lessons with all the courses as well. But I'm looking forward to it. And I'm praying and hoping that late this year, early next year, we'll have a physical building where you can actually come and sit in a room and be interviewed by me, or come and sit in a room and let me train you in person. So that is a big stretch goal that we're praying and hoping for. Again, a lot of it has to do with how many courses we're able to sell to you folks, and how many vendors sponsor the automation blog. Because I know these vendors, they have millions of dollars worth of marketing every year, and some of them still have not yet spent a single penny, even though they've been on our show many, many times, haven't spent a single penny with us. But we do appreciate those who have, like the P&Fs, like the other vendors I was talking about earlier. I'm not on the blog right now. Let me go back to the blog here. But we've had IFM sponsor shows. We've had Antera sponsor, the Switch Company sponsor shows. We've had Flexiv sponsor shows. So Siemens has done a lot of sponsorships. So we really appreciate them. That's what keeps the lights on. That's what keeps the servers running. And, we want to reach out more and more of those industrial vendors and say, reach 5 times as many people for 10% of what you're paying now at these big corporate websites. So with that, I think that's everything. I do have a show I'm coming up on. I wanted to cover that content today, but I just couldn't get to it. Get to refine it enough to do it for this show. But I will be on an Odyssey MDT event they're having. They're having a big virtual event on the 27th, And I will be doing a video for that. I actually recorded, I think tomorrow or the next day. We're going to pre-record it. But I will be there live in the chat room while they play it. So it's about the evolution of the programmable controller, PLCs versus PACs, and kind of what my thoughts of the future of the PLC is, or programmable controller is. And so check that out. That's on the 27th. I think it's called MDT Connect, or obviously MDT Connect. And I will also take the video from that and put it on my on the automationblog.com and on all our channels after the fact as well. But with that said, if you did take part in our contests on automate.news, I have everything packaged. I just have to ship it. And I was just waiting for the sponsorship check to come in, which it has. So I would have the funds to actually pay all the postage. So everything's boxed up. I have to get it out this week or next. I promise you, if you're part of that contest, you will receive them. I think I had enough stuff for, we had a couple dozen people really get involved in the contest. And I think I have enough for the first 16 of those. I asked for more stuff, but it never came in. So at least the first 16 people, I should say, there are 16 winners of the contest. Not every prize is the same. There are some people who really went above and beyond for the contest, so they get some extra stuff. But everybody should get something cool, and I hope you guys enjoy it. But please, send me any feedback you have. We hope to have a vendor on again next week so we get back to our regular programming for the rest of the summer. That's our plans anyways. But if you like this as a filler episode, please let me know. If you didn't like it, please let me know. You can click on the contact link on any of the websites. Automationblog.com is probably the best one to do it on. But I really appreciate you all. If you want to support us, please consider picking up one of those content collections, or pick up a mug, or pick up a shirt, or give us subscribe for $2 or more over at automation.locals.com. And with that, I just want to wish you all a very happy, safe, and healthy week. And until next time, my friends, peace.